Hello and welcome to an Everquest guide for a level 120 Necromancer. So we're going to go into this. There's going to be kind of two different playstyles. One is solo-ish and one is in a multi-box group. So we'll kind of cover both situations here. Solo-ish can be like you're by yourself or you're playing one character, right? So that's going to be probably what's most important to most people. So we're going to go over my spells and how I have that. I'll go over some other AAs and stuff like that. We'll talk about gear. And we'll talk about just about everything. This is going to be a long video. Buckle up. Alright, so first things first, the spells. Now, I'm 120. I'm an XR, so I have a little bit more regen, but not enough to matter. So race at 120 is a cosmetic thing. So spells, I have Proclamation of Blood. This is probably one of the best spells we get, honestly. What this does is it nukes the target, right? So we got this guy, we'll nuke him, and it'll do, 31,000 damage. Add in modifiers. I got 97,000 out of that. It also has a 25% chance to give us a temporary damage increase to our spells. So, and a 1% chance to decrease our damage. So, when you get that proc, right? Let's see if we can get one here. 25. So if I cast it like 6 times, I should get it, right? 2. There we go. Chaotic Power. So increases the base damage of damage over time spells with a duration of at least 24 seconds that deal at least 100 damage by 75 to 200%. Now, this is, you want this going. You want to weave it in between your dots sometimes. Just depends on what the situation is, right? But you want this up at all times. Every time a dot ticks, it takes off one number from the 25 here. So if you have all your dots going, it's going to go down. How many dots do I have memorized right now? I have 2 through 8, so 7 dots memorized. So like 7 a tick, right? So it goes pretty quick. So you got to be able to recast that. So definitely one of the workhorses of the build, right? And also Proclamation also does our synergy. I don't have the AA for it right now, but if I memorized the lower level one, I would get it. But when you cast the assert line of spells, right, triggers a defiler's synergy, which gives everybody in your group critical chance increase for 12 seconds. So again, you want to cast that on cooldown. I just can't do it because I don't have the AA right now. Next, I have Prior of Zakara, rank 2. So rank 1 is what you buy from a vendor. Rank 2 is what you get from a named drop in group content. And rank 3 is from raids. So this will do. So the scaling on this will depend on what one you have, but it's all within 1,000 damage, I think. So this is a 30-second dot that does 17,000 damage every 6 seconds. So you get a few ticks in there. It's very fast. It's our strongest dot we have. Extinction is the second dot I have going. This is another 30-second one. This is 10,000 damage every 6 seconds for 30 seconds. Same thing, 30 seconds. Next, I have Hemorrhagic Venom. I don't know. This is 11,000 damage for 42 seconds. So every 6 seconds there. And then we have Zilanthax Pallid Haze. This is 8,500 damage for 42 seconds. Now, you'll notice if you watch my 115 video, my spells are in different order. I did sort them by shortest duration, biggest damage, all the way down to I might cast it if I want to, kind of thing. Let's see here. Pyre of the Neglected. So this one is 54 seconds, 7,500 every 6 seconds. Flesh Rot's Grip of Decay. So this is a combination spell when we cast this, it will cast both of our disease dots at the same time, which is really nice. I've considered moving it up, but since, as you can see, these last a minute, and most of the time the mobs I'm fighting do not last long enough for this to finish. So it's just, you know, your mileage may vary, but I have it at the end because the way I do my rotation is I go from 3 all the way down, and then I can do 3 all the way to poison, and then 3 all the way to poison, and then go all the way down. It's, you know, it works out so that I don't have to cast as much, but I'm missing out on a tick here or two, but I know I'm lazy, so it doesn't really matter. But this one casts both Flesh Rot's Decay and Grip of Quietness. So that's 9,400 a tick for a minute and 12. And this one is 7,500, almost 7,600 for 1 minute every 6. So nice little spell to get on there if you can, because it just puts 2 dots on right away. See, Scalding Shadow. This is the last fire dot. This one is 7,900 damage every 6 seconds, and adds some effect to life drains. So if I was casting life taps, it would add a little bit to that, and it lasts for a minute and 24. It's the longest lasting one we have. So then I have Epileptic Paroxysm. So this is a group life tap. It casts this, which does 19,000 life drain every 6 seconds. 75% of that comes back to me for a maximum of 38,000. Yeah, this one heals me. There's another one I have in the group spells that does a group life tap, so it just depends. Then we have Skeletal Mass. This summons our Swarm Pet to attack for 12 seconds. I believe this is enhanced by one of the AAs to make it last longer. That might be Mage though, so I can't remember. Then we have a heal. So this heals for 5,700 or 57,000 and cures. This is for the pet. And I have also Inspire Ally, which gives the pet a bigger life tap and a chance to give us an Essence Emerald, which I use for resurrections. So it's fairly useful. And then at the end, I have Rune, which is just it gives me a little bit of mana regen, right? So that's one reason to keep it up at all times. Two, like, it absorbs 1 hit. I was in Hero's Forge earlier, and I was doing the last quest I needed to do to complete my Lorien Song stuff, and I almost got one-shot by guys, but that actually kept me alive. So, you know, it's definitely worth casting and keeping up. All right, like right now with Lunacide, which is the level 120 Lich, we are at 1,159 mana regen plus whatever else I got going on here. A lot of buffs on. So that's kind of like the spells, and how I do it, you know, is depending on the fight, right? Like if I'm fighting something I know is not going to last long, I only do Pyre, Extinction, Hemorrhagic, and Zelenix. I don't bother with the rest. Now, if I'm fighting a name that I know is going to last for like a minute, maybe a minute and 2, I will switch to all the dots, right? And my rotations is pretty much I just go 3, 4, you know, all the way down my line here, right? And then 5, and then 6. And you'll notice that when I hit 5, it did something because I have a multi-bind there. What's that? 7, 8, and 9. And with a 0. And then sometimes I'll hit this, right? And that just gets all the dots out there, right? I can also hit numpad 2, which will then cast my first 4 dots in a macro. I'll show that here in just a second. You can see it's right now we're only doing like 300,000, 400,000 DPS. It's not a whole lot. I didn't send the pet in. You know, I didn't do a lot of, but it's just for demonstration purposes, right? And then you know, at that point when I lose the buff, right? When I lose chaotic power, I want to get that back on as soon as possible. And I just need to watch Pyre. If Pyre is falling off, it's got 4 seconds. I should have recasted it by now, right? So you kind of want to keep that. I have I started working on timers for what is this thing called? EKey log parser right here, like, and stuff like that. I just haven't finished them yet. So I don't have them on right now, but eventually I'll have them finished and I'll put them somewhere, probably on the Discord. But yeah, so that's like my rotation, right? Go down there. I have a debuff button and whatnot. So let's go through my second bar here. So pet attack. Whenever I do a pet attack, I send in the pet, right? There he goes. He's the orc, right? And I send in my swarm pet, and that's my pet attack. It assists whoever the assist target is, whatever, and does that. Dots. So this is it. 45 paws for me gets me all 4 dots. I could get a 5th dot in here if I wanted to get rid of the target, but I leave the target in because mobs don't last that long. So. And then I have a debuff button, which will snare and scent, right? So if we go like right here, target him. There's snare, scent to Thule, and if it's undead, it will slow it. So it's like that, and then that sends all my targets in. So if I have to switch targets, right? If I want to switch to him, my pet should start attacking him. See? I use it as a kind of a, you know, control my pet kind of double macro. I have the same kind of debuff button on my mage. I multi-box with a mage, and she has dispel in there, so I don't dispel. But if I did not have that set up, I would dispel with the Necromancer to remove any damage shields or anything like that. So keep that in mind. All right, and then I have Death's Effigy, just a 100% feign death. I have it right there. I also have it on my other bar. I'll show here in a second. And let's see here. All the rest of these are pretty self-explanatory. So let me switch my spell sets real quick. So we're going to go to my group set, and we'll talk about how I play a boxed Necromancer now. So if you're only playing a solo Necromancer, you know, you're not, you know, or you're not boxing a Necromancer, the rest of this section is probably not going to be as important to you. All right, you'll notice that my spells change. Some of them are the same, right? The first 5 stay the same because they are kind of the core of the Necromancer's damage, right? I have Mind Atrophy, right? So this is a mana steal that restores mana to the group for 24 seconds. I could cast that on cooldown. You'll notice in my group extended target window here, I have Holdridge. Yes, there is a Holdridge on Drenell. And I turn the mobs undead. I turn every single mob undead. And that increases his damage significantly against the mobs, right? So if I do this, right? So this is, what, it's 12 seconds of the mob is undead. Now, if you think about it, that's not a whole lot of time. But in actuality, I get quite a few slay undeads in. Now, the way I play the Holdridge on this server is with a 2-hander, and so he's getting like, you know, 500,000 to 1 million hits at his current level. Slay undeads, which is bringing him up the damage meter significantly compared to, you know, some of the other classes I have here. I also have a cleric, and the clerics get turn undead, which once it's undead, they can turn undead the mob, doing, I think it's 150,000 at, I think it was 105. So that number is just going to keep going up and up and up. So it's an interesting synergy that I have by having a paladin and a cleric in the group, and I can turn things undead, and they can make use of their abilities, right? I can also turn things undead and slow it, but I do run a shaman, so it's not as necessary. Then I have Twilight Leech, which is the level 120 leech. So this is a life tap. It does 7,800, well, almost 7,900 a tick. So that's every 6 seconds for 42 seconds, and it heals the group for 8454. Now, I think in one of the videos, one of my setup videos, I think it was showing the cleric healing, and this actually shows up on the meters pretty good, right? This is a constant heal over time that stacks with everything else. So everybody in your group is constantly getting 8,400 hit points a tick, right? So that's pretty nice to have just flowing all the time. It kind of pairs well with the the mana over time kind of thing. So it works out pretty good. And then I also cast Ecliptic on cooldown too. It's just a heal for me. Doesn't really worry about healing anybody else, but it keeps me healed with all the crazy stuff I'm doing. Saves mana for other people too. Call Mass. This is Skeleton Mass. This is Swarm Pet on cooldown. I keep the pet heal mimmed just in case I need to heal it. The way I'm playing these characters right now, they are lower level than me. I'm 120. They are like 108, maybe 109 now. And sometimes the pet needs a heal if I'm letting the pet tank, especially on certain names that do like some ridiculous 100,000 a tick dots. Like sometimes I have to step in and heal because some of these like sometimes the cleric's not really set up to do that. So it really helps out. And I keep Inspire Ally up at all times. This just gives me a chance to get a Essence Emerald. And then on my, since this is when I'm boxing this character, I keep the rune for Sigil on Death, which is the pet haste. I keep this up at all times. So I keep it on my bar just so I don't have to like waste my time memorizing the spell. I do have some clickies over here that I haven't updated in a while, so this will just memorize certain spells. Like to summon my pet, like this is the level, not the 120 pet, so I haven't updated, I haven't lost a pet. Usually that's what I do, is I update these when I'm sitting there, you know, dead or something like that. So, and then so since I am multi-boxing him, I do multi-bind with all my characters, so when I push 5, all my characters do something on 5, right? And so I have a simple macro for him. He does X target 19, pet attack, pet swarm, call some. So same pet attack button as the other button, which is numpad 1. But this one will also do skeletal mass, mind avatry, cremation of bones, which turns it undead, jeez, what's the word again? Ecliptic, and Proclamation, and Twilight Leech. And then all the swarm pets plus Companion's Aegis. I am letting my pet tank in this scenario where I'm grouping with my boxes. And I do have the mage pet tanking also, so it lets me go pull with my paladin while the pets are tanking, right? And I have 10 levels over them, so it helps them out significantly to let the pet tank in most scenarios. So that's that. See, we got lessons, harm shield, gate stuff, clickies to the different expansions. Let's talk a little about gear, right? So at 120, the best gear you can probably get outside of raid gear is the tier 1 Lorien Song gear, which is Galliant. So this is the Galliant robe. I have all 8 pieces of Galliant right now, and everything. Like I'm still wearing Grandiose consigned stuff from level 100 heroic. So my gear is not great, but I was able to put together a full set of this plus a few other items, and I did get the earring from Night of Shadows. This is the group earring for crafted. So this is the tier 3 crafted. So this is enhanced minion 25. So it's not the best, but it is way better than the consigned one I had. So I'm pretty happy with it. Really gives my pet that extra oomph. I think, what is he like right now? He's like 117, I think. Yeah, he's 117 with this earring. This is a level 120 pet, I think, maybe. I think it's either a 119. That was when I summoned it, or level 120. I can't remember, but that, and then the Galleon stuff is, you know, just next thing. So the upgrade to this would be tier 2 Lorien Song. I don't think there's a banker down here, is there? Here, let's just do summon banker. Alright, so let's open up. I think this is tier 2. Yeah, Steadfast. Yeah, there we go. So Steadfast is the next tier. So if we like sort, right, we're gonna, it's a minor upgrade, right? So I'm probably gonna skip it, even though I have a full set of it in the bank, because I do have the parts of the pieces for tier 3. So I'll probably be going to that. That'll be the best gear I can get until I can do raids. So that's kind of, you know, where it is. Like, you want to get to that as soon as possible. I don't know what the enhanced minion is on the tier 3 crafted earring. I don't know what that is. I know that the tier 1 Lorien Song attunable earring is enhanced minion 25. I believe I have it in my bag right here. Yeah, so the forge bound Emerald Quartz earring of the minion is still enhanced minion 25. It's a slight upgrade over the one I have, but I figure I'm just going to give this to my mage since it's attunable, and live without the 200 HP and 400 mana, because I should be able to get a tier 3 crafted item pretty quick over time, I guess. But let's see here. But gear-wise, earrings probably the most important thing, followed by the robe. One of these, like, I don't think the arms count for dots. Like, I think that's, don't think any of that stuff really counts for dots. It might. Someone with more intelligence about these things might be able to say something, but if they do count for dots, then you're going to want the arms and stuff like that. I don't think the cloak has one. That's just duration. So you're going to want the robe, the earring, and whatever else you can get. Honestly, you want more hit points. Honestly, heroic stamina is where you're going with the Necromancer, right? So I'm at what, 20 and plus 900. So 900 extra stamina. So we want more hit points so that we can use Death Bloom. Death Bloom will take health, give you mana, right? And you want the more hit points you have, the less impact this makes to you. That's kind of why I keep Ecliptic up on both bars. It's a great heal, and there are group missions that do AoEs and stuff like that, and being able to kind of sustain myself a little bit while, you know, I'm not becoming a burden, right? Because I'm 120 and I've already completed Lorien Song, right? Like, I've completed everything. Let's go here. I completed the Master, I completed Heroes, Myth Slayer, Champion, and Paragon, right? It's all done. I've done it all. I'm out of experience. That's for another video. But I've completed everything, so I've seen all the content. I'm gonna have a video on one of the group missions soon. Maybe another one on one of the other ones. So show, you know, like a Necromancer's playthrough in there. But I haven't been making videos of anything really on this character except for these guides, just so I can focus on trying to level them up. And I've, you know, gone to 39%. So, but here we go. So that's spells. Let's talk about how to get more damage out of this stuff, right? I do have Wake Undead, right? So this is a fun spell. Scares some people because if there's a lot of corpses around, like suddenly there's a bunch of things attacking, and sometimes it freaks people out. I've gotten a few people a few times, so that's pretty nice. You want to do this, it gives you more swarm pets. If there's a mage in your group, it'll give them more damage too. And then Swarm, Decay, and Rise Bones, just more pets. Get those out there. One thing I've noticed is that this, the call pet right here, so if we, let's go ahead and summon him. This little skeleton right here, he can tank. He is a boss. He is a boss. He can actually tank and almost solo, like, ring to scale mobs, right? Like, he's pretty boss. So I like him. He's fun to play with. And I have those out at all times. And if you know, like when you're grouped with a mage, the more pets that are attacking, the more damage the pet does. I mean, the mage does. So, and the mage also buffs our pets. So that's something to consider. Like those are mage weapons, and he's wearing full mage armor, even though you can't see it. He's an orc. Oh. Let's do this. I like to distract myself in videos. Here we go. Let's turn him into a badger. Oh god, I gotta click it off. There we go. Now, when I got this, I was pretty much done with the expansion, and I was happy. I think I said it in one of the videos, right? You know, like once I get this, I'm done. And yeah, so it's definitely it's fun to be a necromancer. Let's see here. So let's finish talking about this because I'm getting distracted here. Dying Grasp. So this will heal me. It's a life drain. 60,000 goes up to 94,000 next rank. I'm clearly deficient in AAs right now. I am at 45,000. I think a necromancer in my guild is at 70,000. So I am definitely behind. And that's going to take some time to get up. But to burn, this is what I typically do. I click this one, all the way to here. Right, so Merciful Torment. So this increases the casting speed of our dots, so you can get more of them out there. Funeral Dirge, or Funeral Prior, sorry. This increases the damage of our damage over time by 41%, and reducing the duration, so you get more spells out. Twin Cast, 20 dots twin casted. It's insane. And then Robe. So I talked about the robe. I got a cosmetic thing on it right now, but the robe. Let's see if we can get something here, right? Where is the clicky effect? Consuming magic. Next 10 spells will trigger Reclamation, which will do 130 damage. And restores 50% of that to me. So that's a pretty nice little, life tap every time I do that. So it's pretty nice. And then Spire, which again, just more damage, critical damage, damage over time by 230, and then gives the pet even more power. So this gives the pet a proc that does 48,000 and heals it. So it's just insane. And then Hand of Death here. This one increases the base damage or damage over times by 40. So another good one. I'm actually going to swap this one and that one. There we go. That's probably a better casting order. It really doesn't matter. I'm recasting all these spells like constantly. So, and then I haven't ever pulled aggro. Like I haven't pulled aggro yet. Unless there's a mechanic that involves it, but you'd probably want to do silent casting if you're in a group situation, you're not playing with your pet. Gathering Dust is another minor damage thing. You can throw it on there if you want, but it does not it prevents the threat lowering silent casting from actually working, so keep that in mind. I've never used Life Burn. I mean, I could probably hit 1,000,000 with a life burn, right? I think that would crit for that much, but maybe I'll try it at 125 when I get there. I'm 2 ranks off, so when I get there, I'll try it out. See, it's just not really useful to me. Pestilence paralysis. This is our root. If I can root it, I can kill it. Is my motto. I think I've been able to kill some crazy stuff solo with him. Then Frenzied Dead, Fortify Companion, Companion's Aegis, and stuff like that. You want to put those on your pet, especially in like burn situations or you're in a solo situation. Like Fortified Pet makes him like almost godlike. Where is he here? So passively, it gives us a lot of more, tanky stats. But once you do this, increases the potency of damage shields in your pet offhand attack, or reduces the potency of offhand damage shield attacks, increases avoidance by 60%, armor class by 50, absorbs 25% of incoming melee damage for up to almost 500,000, and 25% of incoming spell damage by another 500,000. And then if he goes below 40%, gets like a heal, I believe. Yeah, heals him for 15,000, and then another absorb goes on there. So it's insane. Probably the next rank is even more insane. Yeah, same quarter, 500,000, but I think it heals for more. Yeah, 16. So that's kind of weak. That's kind of weak. That is kind of weak, actually. But I mean, it's crazy how all this stuff plays together, right? All right, so that's AAs, that's gear, that's spells. I don't know if I'm missing anything now, but my rotation in most cases is just all the dots and then Proclamation of Blood when I can. So I've tried like doing like this, right? I'll go 3 for Pyre, and then I'll go Proclamation, and then I'll go Extinction, and then back to Proclamation, and then Proclamation triggered so that I can continue my dots, right? Now, you could say that's probably smart, probably the way to do it. I don't have all my dots memorized right now. This is the group bar. But it just depends on how you want to do it. When I'm playing one character and I'm focused on one character, I typically do that until I get this. Once I have chaotic power, I go through the rest of my dots and I keep them refreshed. Mostly focusing on the first 4 because they're the most damage, right? Because here, let's go back to that spell set. Load 120. There we go. So now getting Scalding Shadow on there, I mean, it's going to last for a minute. So that 1 minute is probably 2 recasts. By the time I get to it, right, it's probably 2 recasts, Pyre, and then it goes into it. So I do the full bar, I do Pyre, and I do Extinction, and then the 2 poison dots, and then I go back to Pyre, because it's by the time I get to the 4th one, it's expired, right? So if I just do the first 4 with my macro here, right? So you can see here, it's actually extended by something right now. So it's going a little bit longer than 30 seconds. I think one of the, what is it here? The Destructive Cascade adds, I think, another one. But by the time I got to that one, it's at 20 seconds left. So I have just enough time to think about it right now. 15 seconds left. I could probably do it now. And that'll hit it. I want to get it within that. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I should refresh it before it ends. Because I'm not doing wounds, right? Like, I don't use that because nothing ever lasts long enough, and it's a waste of spell slot for me in my playstyle. But on longer lasting, like raid mobs or something like that, I would consider it probably lasting. But the names don't even last long. Like, it's insane. There we go. Like 9. I could let it fall off and do something else, right? I can do exclamation. Once it's off, oh, 1 second, last tick. There we go. Now start recasting them all. Because, you know, I do get that last tick, which did 1,000,000 damage, right? So, I mean, like, if I wait that extra, you know, 6 seconds, by the time they all fall off, I should, yeah, palette haze got overwritten. So it's just a matter of personal preference, I guess. One thing I'm working on is working this rotation to work a little better for me. Because I do burn my mana pretty quick, right? Like refreshing these dots constantly and keeping them going is quite mana consuming, right? So that's just one thing to consider. But once I have the full I'll have a full like spell bar that shows me all the durations ticking down. I'll be able to make better judgment on casting. Right now it's hard to tell, and it gets really chaotic when you have lots of people attacking the same mob, because, you know, the buff, it's like 3 bars of debuffs on there, and you're like, where are my dots? Where are my dots? I wish I could filter this down and show only mine, or something like that. That would make things slightly easier. Or better yet, have it like show the dots off to the side, and you could just have like I don't know. There's improvements to this interface that could happen, but I think this is enough about the 120 Necromancer. If there's any more questions or anything like that, please let me know. If there's a comment saying I'm doing something absolutely wrong, please let me know. I've been doing Necro for a while, and this is what I've been doing. And if I'm doing it wrong, let me know. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.